What's up, Deadheads? Rooster Cogburn here with some more tips and tricks for Red Dead Online. This time, for those of you that are just starting out, you have no roles and very few ways to make money. Basically, you're a noob with ambition. I'm going to show you the strategy that I use to get a nice little income flow going so that you can get some of those necessities that will come in handy as you progress through the game. First things first, if we're going to work like a noob, we need to look like a noob. So I'm just going to go through the wardrobe here and find the clothes that I started out with. Also, I've made sure that the only weapons we'll be using are the ones that you started out with. The Cattleman Revolver and the Carbine Repeater, and we're going to be using regular ammunition only. I'll even be riding around on a lower level horse to keep things authentic. Not the lowest level, but certainly not a specialty mount. There, now that we've turned back the clocks to day one, let's go over the game plan a little bit. Our camp is here in the northeastern part of the Bayou Noir region. This is where you want your campsite to be. If you don't have the money to move it, you need to kill and skin a few animals, sell them to the butcher in most major towns, and get the $2 required for the move. Once you get to Bayou Noir, but you're not in this specific campsite, you have two choices. If you have the money, you can pay to move the campsite out of the region and then pay to move it back and keep repeating this until you get the right spot. Or simply push the menu button, select online, and restart by selecting camp. It can be time consuming, but you lose no money and it will change your campsite if you're already in the bayou. Repeat if needed until you get to a spot in this area. You don't really have to have this exact campsite as long as you're in this area. There are other places here, I believe here, and some down this way, but if you can get it, this is the best spot. What really matters is that we stay along this railway. That's the key. Everything we need is along this track. The fast travel post is here. The post office is here. Here's the butcher and a general store. You'll use these the most. And should you run into any legendary animals, Gus is here, and there's also a fence right here. Everything we need resides in close proximity to these train tracks, and we'll use them as a kind of highway while we hunt this area, down and back, over and over. Even coming up here, killing absolutely every animal as we hunt this area out. We're going to do this for a full 24 in-game hours, which works out to be around 48 real-world minutes. It's 2:50 p.m. now, and we'll stop at 2:50 p.m. tomorrow. Also take note the cash total up here so we know how much we've made whenever we're done. Let me make sure I stock up on ammo and... Oh, what's that walking around over there? Come on, horse. Ooh, it's a whitetail. Let's skin him up. As far as birds go, I usually stow 2 on my horse, which is the max, and I'm always on the lookout to trade up. I only keep the exotics like cranes, spoonbills, pelicans, but if I have a crane and shoot a pelican later, the crane gets skinned. Also, it's difficult to get a 3-star bird with the iron we're packing now. Just keep an eye out for higher star levels. All in all, this strategy is really simple. Kill absolutely every game animal you come across, including little birds, medium birds, big birds, snuffleupagus, cookie monster, even rats, snakes, muskrats, bullfrogs, toads. If it moves on 4 legs, flies, or slithers, shoot 'em, Jacob, shoot 'em! Make sure you skin it to maximize carrying capacity. The swamp is very diverse, so there should be no shortage of animals. If that happens, I'll tell you a trick to get them to respawn at the end of this video. So, sooner or later you're going to come across an animal with a large pelt like this alligator here. You can only have 1 on your horse at a time. What I do is keep the first one I skin, but as soon as I skin one at a higher star level, I trade up and toss all the others. Always skin it even if you don't keep the pelt, because you still collect the meat and teeth and so on and so forth. These all have dollar value.
I've never met an alligator yet that can outlast Troy Landry. Shoot him where it count. I am the alligator bandit. We're gonna do the alligator shuffle. Yeah. It's a rainy day in the bayou. If you're gonna work with me, You got to work my way or no way. Troy Landry gonna get the job done, no matter what. That's a papa. Oh yeah, give him a headache. Up goes the weasel. Big alligator. I think we got a big one here. I think we got a big one. It's a big one. It's a big one. You know, it's all about what you put into something. You're gonna get out of it what you put into it.
Hey, I'm gonna hear you squeal, piggy, squeal! Boar's pelts and pelts like it are great because you can stow, I believe, 50 on your horse. Plus, even with the carbine, you can score a 3-star with a headshot. Squeal! I love that dog.
I think it's a pig. Yeah.
We want to stay to the east of this road here. It's not one of them, bar iron rules, but it's a good way to keep your bearings. Anyway, if you see a critter on the western side of the road, by all means, shoot him! Hey, there's a legendary animal over there. Oh, somebody's already after him. We'll steer clear. Besides, with the carbine and cattleman, that thing's just a bullet sponge anyway. Let's just concentrate on these piggies. Squeal! Ah! It's the legendary Sun Gator, and he's after me! Run, Warren, run! I'm not after you, I just want to kill pigs! And he's coming back. Run! Okay, I think that rando gained the upper hand on the legendary. Skinned that pig finally, so we can get back to business. Oh, I forgot about these. If you shoot a 3-star alligator turtle in the head with a carbine, you won't damage it and you'll get max meat. Whenever we get done, there's a couple of things to think about. Right now, the weapons we're using damage and degrade the animals. After this run, I'm fairly certain you'll have enough for the varmint rifle, which is $73, and I'm pretty sure it's not level locked. Once you add that to your arsenal, the varmint rifle is best used on all birds, then medium and small animals. What constitutes a small animal? When you skin them, if there is no animation other than your character simply stowing the entire carcass in your satchel, then it's a small animal. In the bayou, some examples would be squirrels, toads, bullfrogs, rats, and the occasional chipmunk. On medium animals, after you select skin, your character will tear the pelt off the animal, discard the carcass, and stow the pelt in your satchel. The animation does not roll the skin for you to stow on your horse. These are usually muskrats, possums, raccoons, maybe a skunk or two, but that's rare down here. With the varmint rifle, if you encounter a small or medium 3-star critter, it is highly likely that your shot will not damage the pelt, unless you fire more than once. A higher star count means more meat and better quality skins. It should be somewhere around 2 now. Okay, so it's 250 exactly. And we're gonna make our way down to the butcher. Remember, we said earlier that we'll use the railway as a sort of highway to get to our points of interest. The train only travels northward. Just be on the lookout for it up ahead. If you're like me and you're constantly checking the HUD for nearby players, when the train icon pops, you have just enough time to get out of the way. We're going to dismount our horse close to the butcher's stall so the system recognizes what's stowed on our trusty steed. Here's a look again at the money we started out with. You'll notice that we lost a little bit, but that's due to camp costs and stabling fees. It's just about $6 less than we started out with, but we'll be all right. So we need to sell everything that the butcher will buy. Get rid of it all. There's a couple things in here I'm not selling because I had them before we began. Wouldn't be fair to squeeze it in now. All right, before we sold, we had about 54,406. Now we have 54,527, meaning we made $121 American in 48 minutes. I can't remember if 121 is enough to buy the bolt action rifle, but let me check. It's not. Just repeat this a few more times and you'll have a nice cash foundation to build off. Two things before we go. I just wanted to show you how necessary the bolt-action rifle is from a hunting for money standpoint. I know many people make a big deal about express ammo, but even with regular ammo, this rifle is butter. Let's go find us a 3-star alligator. There's one, and we're gonna put this through his eye. Remember, headshots, headshots, headshots. Go over here. Oh, that's not him. Here he is. Butter. Even with regular ammo, headshots save 3-star every time. I know it's a grind, I know it takes time, but trust me, with all the killing and skinning and riding and running around, you're not just making money, you're developing your mechanics and learning the nuances of the game, you're building up your stamina, you're building up your health bar, and gaining some decent XP. I would suggest grinding this out as much as possible until you get another source of in-game income. Also, on this run, we made enough for the varmint rifle, and you should work up the money for the bolt-action rifle as soon as possible. Being able to make cleaner kills will only increase your payday after a long hunt. Lastly, I wanted to show you how to get the animals to respawn. We'll just ride over the fast travel point, and you're going to travel to Lagros because it's the cheapest, and then you're going to travel back. The critters should be here waiting for you. Once you get used to this area, you really don't need to even move your camp here. With all the resources along the railway and the fast travel close at hand, you can just zip down, hunt this area in the reverse order than we just did, cash out, and leave. It's too simple, but it takes a lot of time. That's it for now. Throw us a like if you found this video useful, hit subscribe and saddle up that notification bell, and tune in for more tips, tricks, tutorials, updates, critiques, and much, much more Red Dead Online here on The Stream with No Name.